It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege of interviewing the Rampo College Roadrunners head women's soccer coach, Coach Abby Shiffler. How are you doing today?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Can you talk about how you knew that you want to get started in coaching in college women's soccer?
Sure. I guess, having played soccer my whole life, when I, graduated, I actually was working for the government and I had a very good paying job, but I just felt like something was missing. And then it dawned on me that, I played for so long, I really missed the sport. So um, I took a tremendous pay cut and moved in with a friend. And it was actually my second coaching job. I went to coached at Caldwell College, and from there on, loved it and stuck with it.
What was that experience like as a collegiate athlete going to play college soccer?
It was a dream of mine. I think as a kid, it was always my goal to get a scholarship to play Division One. So that was awesome. It was a great experience.
What was that experience like putting on that jersey and representing them?
It's the best feeling. Yeah, it's the best feeling. I said that to my freshmen this year. After preseason obviously is hard. It's tough training, but I was like, when you put that uniform on, it's all worth it. And I could just see their faces light up, and I felt the same way. It's a great experience.
Coming out of college, what was that experience like getting started as being an assistant coach?
So my first assistant role was at Fairleigh Dickinson, and that was a great experience. She actually was Kristen Giada was the goalkeeper before me at Monmouth, and then she ended up being my coach for a little bit. She needed an assistant, so it was kind of like, sure, why not? I miss it, but I didn't at the time think that would be my career. So I coached there first, and then I did the government work, and then back to coaching. So
What was that experience like going to Fairleigh Dickinson and getting a coach there?
it was great. I was still fairly young, so I'd hop in a lot in the practices. I mainly trained the keepers, but yeah, I had a great time. It's basically
Coming
like an extension of playing again.
coming to Caldwell College, what was that experience like joining back and being a coach for Caldwell?
Again, I loved it. I think I just underestimated how much I missed the sport and being involved. And um, Nate's a great coach. He's actually at Rutgers Newark now, but yeah, really great guy. I learned a lot from him, and it was a lot of fun.
What was that experience like going to UMass and being their assistant coach?
That was a great experience as well. It was good D1 program. Hadn't ever lived in Massachusetts before. Got a lot of snow. But yeah, it's a great school, and it actually the nursing program is big there, so that was a good experience because that's one of our top majors. So, but yeah, it was great.
What was that experience like getting a coach on the Division 2 or 3 level and also the Division 1 level?
Um, Having a little trouble hearing you. Sorry, I probably have to edit that out. But one more time, you said what the difference between D3, 1, and 2?
Mm-hmm.
So so basically, I really enjoyed the experience of Division One at Penn and UMass, but it dawned on me that I really didn't want to be a Division One coach, because it really is your entire life, Not that I'm not competitive and I don't take it seriously, because I do, right? I want to win, but I want to be able to have other experiences and do other things. In Division One, it's very much that's your life, right? So as an assistant, I just realized that it wasn't for me. I didn't want to be a head coach at D1. So Actually, Coach Giada reached out to me and she told me about the Ramapo opening. And when I looked at it, I was like, that's perfect. Like, very competitive conference, really, really tough, right? So I'm not losing that competitiveness, but it's the D3 experience. It's just not quite as intense as, the commitment at D1. D2 is unique in that, it's you have some athletic aid, right? There's some scholarships. There's not as many as Division 1, so the recruiting is a little different. It's maybe a little bit more international kids. So they're all a little bit different, but they're all I liked every experience.
Coming to Rambo, what was it like being the head coach for the first time in your coaching career?
A little overwhelming, to be honest, because I was 27 at the time. Um, and I got hired in like the end of July and the season starts in August. So it was a little bit of a whirlwind. They helped me through it. The kids were great. So luckily I had a great group to walk into. But yeah, it's just there's a lot to do in a month to get ready for that season for sure.
Being a new head coach, what was it like building the coaching staff around you and the players around you?
That's I would say the most important thing, right? Your assistants are huge. I mean, if you don't have good assistants, it makes it very difficult. I finally now have two phenomenal assistants. I tell them they can never leave. They can't retire until I retire. Um, and same with the kids. It's, kind of when I was younger and first starting out, obviously you want talented players, but you also want really good players that are, good people and that want to be here and that, want to work hard. And I definitely have that, right? The kids with a good attitude, that are, selfless and good teammates. So
How was that feeling like the first time you got to step onto that field for the first time as head coach?
it's nerve-wracking again, but very exciting.
Of course, what was that first win like getting it as a head coach?
It was huge. I honestly couldn't tell you which game it was because it would have been a, non-conference game. But yeah, that first group, I learned a lot from them. Hopefully they did from me too. They were a little traumatized. The previous coach they didn't have the greatest experience with. So it was actually more we did more meditating and whatnot, just to be like, just calm down. It's okay to make a mistake.
As a head coach, what are some of your game day routines and rituals?
I don't think I really have many. Depends on the day. Sometimes again, I kind of depending on the game and how the players are. Sometimes I like to go into the locker room and talk with them. Sometimes it's like go in and crack a joke, whatever, to calm the nerves. And sometimes I walk by the locker room and they're have the music blasting, and I can tell they're in it, and I leave them alone. I'm like, okay, you guys are focused. I don't have to say anything.
Can you talk about, of course, the culture that you've started to build as head coach for the Rainbow program?
I'm sorry, Brandon. Say that one more time.
Can you talk about the culture that you've started to build for the program?
Yeah. So, like I said, the biggest thing was, getting really good assistants that, buy into the program, which again, I have now. And then finding those kids that are not only talented, but, I want good leaders. We focus on leadership a lot. And again, just that finding those kids that are here for the right reasons, that are selfless, that are good teammates and want to work. And that's the main things we've focused on and tried to build.
What does that recruitment process look like for those prospective student athletes?
I just put together my list for this weekend. It's a lot of kids that wrote me, which is great. So that's you just, writing coaches, letting them know what tournaments you're going to go to. And then, we follow up, we go see them and recruit them.
As a head coach, what is it like seeing those players, and what do you look at in those prospective student athletes when out on the road?
Yeah, same thing. So again, obviously beyond the talent, I definitely kind of watch their character, how they interact with their teammates, with their coaches, what kind of kid are they? So again, besides just being a talented player, are you also a good person?
Who are some of the teams in your conference that you compete against?
The College of New Jersey, Rowan, University of Kane, Montclair, New Jersey City, Rutgers Newark, Rutgers Camden, William Patterson, and I think I'm missing one. I apologize to whoever I missed, but yeah, there's 10 of us total in our conference, all New Jersey state schools.
What is that home game atmosphere like when some of the teams come to your home facility?
Now it's great. We used to only play on the grass. I don't know if that's because I'm a keeper. I prefer the grass. But we, the girls prefer the turf, and we finally got lights. So now that we have lights and we can have, the 7 o'clock night games, it's awesome.
What is that away atmosphere like when going to see those teams away?
Tough. Yeah, I mean, home field advantage is definitely a thing. You have your fans, they have their atmosphere, so it's a little more challenging, especially in conference going, on the road. Obviously, everybody prefer to have a home game.
As a head coach, what is it like seeing those prospective student athletes putting on that jersey for the first time as freshmen?
Very rewarding. It's a long process, the recruiting process, identifying them, getting them on campus, meeting with them, having them get accepted. So, it's a long journey. And then obviously them going through preseason. And so the reward then is them putting on that jersey, which is great.
How's that like getting to see those freshmen achieve those first big milestones in their careers as freshmen?
Last game of the season, my freshman, 2 minutes left. We were losing 2-1. She gets a free kick 45 yards out and just absolutely hits a bomb to the upper corner. And just seeing her excitement, their excitement, to have the confidence and composure as a freshman, 2 minutes left, you gotta score, and to do that was just one of the best experiences.
What is that like getting to see them as seniors putting on that jersey for the last time?
Sad. I actually only had one senior this year. Really great kid. Started and played in almost every single game. She's a captain, a leader. So it's sad for them. It's sad for me. I actually told her, I'm gonna say nice things about you, but I'm not gonna look at you because I don't want either one of us to get emotional. So yeah, it's tough because it's the finality, right? Like that's your last game, the last time you're gonna put that jersey on. It's emotional.
What is that like as a coach seeing them putting on the NWSL jersey for the first time or even putting on their first coaching polo?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that one.
What is it like getting to see them putting on that NWSL soccer jersey for the first time as pros or putting on that first coaching polo?
Unfortunately, I don't have anyone that went pro, and sadly don't have anyone that I coached that I know that I coach high school, right, but not college.
What is it going to feel like to see them go on and achieve their dreams in the NWSL or going into coaching?
Yeah, again, I don't I don't have anybody pro or coaching, which is a shame. There's definitely not a ton of female coaches, which is a longer conversation, but I do have 23 nurses that have come through the program. So that's phenomenal. They're all doing good things, a lot of physical therapy majors, a lot of nurses, so that's cool.
What have been some of the things that you've been able to accomplish so far for the program?
Uh, Definitely still working towards a lot of things, right? I think, again, I talked about getting those good assistants, which we have, and we have 15 freshmen this year. So definitely gonna do some good things next year and the year after.
What are some of your future plans moving forward?
Win, get more wins for the program. And just I think everybody kind of, after COVID, that was very tough time to recruit, couldn't have kids on campus. So that was that's the reason why we had one senior and we only have two next year. So it's a rebuilding year, trying to get those numbers back, and not just numbers, but quality players. So that's what I feel like we did this year, and then we'll just add to that for next year.
What advice would you give those college freshmen entering their first year of college soccer?
Just be patient. Everybody for the most part was the captain of their team and one of the best players on their team. And so I think it's always hard for them, that transition, when they're like, okay, I'm kind of equal with everybody, right? And I think their biggest thing that they learned this year is that they have to get stronger. They have to definitely go to the weight room and get faster. The game is just, at the college level is just a little more physical, a little faster than they're used to. So, just being patient, realizing like you're not going to maybe be the best right away, and it's something that you got to keep working at.
What advice would you give those college juniors transitioning into being seniors and leading the program?
That's a great question. I don't think you can just expect people to be really good leaders. I think it takes development. I mean, some people are certainly born with that, but not enough. So it's, listening to your teammates and growing as a person and holding yourself accountable. If you want to lead the team, it has to be by example so that you're doing all the right things, and then people will, follow behind.
What advice would you give those players that have aspirations of playing in the NWSL?
One of my keepers actually just asked me about this, and she said, "Do you think I could do it?" And I said, "Yes." My advice would be, it's got to be the most important thing to you, because you're going to miss out on a lot, not in a bad way, but your friends are going and to a party or whatever, you're not going, you're training. So it's got to be 100% commitment. It's got to be something that's the most important thing to you, and you have to be willing to train every single day to, make that happen.
What advice would you give those players looking to get into coaching after their playing career?
That would be great. I would love for some of them to get into coaching. Again, I have a couple high school coaches and whatnot, and I think it's a really rewarding career, especially those that teach and coach. You know, it's I would help them out as best as I could, and it would be great to see more coaches for sure.
What advice would you give those college head coaches looking to start their own program and build their own legacy?
I don't know. That one's tough. I might have to strike that one. I don't know.
Where can my listeners find you on social media along with the program?
Instagram. Um, I don't know our handle. Isn't that terrible? I have my assistant do all the social media, but Instagram, Facebook, Rampo Women's Soccer.
Thank you again, Coach Abby Shiffler, for your interview, and best luck in your future at Rampo College as the head women's soccer coach.
Thank you very much.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Coach Abby Shiffler, for your interview. Best luck in the future.
Thank you. Take care.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.